We don't have a problem. Yep. Just
well, a touch of water. Yeah, it's hazelnuts for me is the first thing I get. I go with a ham, steak, haggis, anything like that. Yeah. So yeah,
that's the third time you mentioned double wood. That's quite enough. All right.
I've got to say it's that one, that sweary word is one I always recommend. People say, well, what's a great starter whiskey? And because I see it right in that centre spot, and there's lots around there, and Cardew's in that sort of same area. So yeah, it is, for the want of a better phrase, a good starter whiskey to start going through the flavour map from there. So I promise I'll try my best not to mention it again, Colin, because I'm sure Matt will pull me up in due course if I bump into him here in the market again. Sounds awfully quiet now.
Yeah.
That's it. We're just
okay.
And if any of the people listening, if you've still got your Glenkinchie glass, even if it's empty, just juxtapose between the noses on the two, and you will get the differences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do get that going back the way. Yeah, it's actually quite nice. Khalil is the last one we're going to try, and it's nice to actually go back to the Glenkinchie after that when you get that peat. That's what.
Yes.
Yeah. To have a drink of it, you've got to lose the fruitiness, the floral notes on it. But it's actually really nice to get a nose in. How you can actually it narrows the nose a wee bit and helps you do it. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, folks, we're having serious technical issues here, but we should be back to normal. I have no clue what that's doing. It's probably because Neil's been gassing along, but anyway.
Colin and I just having a great conversation.
Exactly, that's it. Right, so have we done number 2? Sorry, guys, I've been trying to help there. Tony here. Now, we've no touch base on the water that we've been drinking tonight. What water have we been having?
There's a few who watch us every second Friday. Partnership with Macar Water, which is Mike Kinnaird up in Aberdeen.
Sunny Aberdeen, aye.
The water's from Isle of Lewis, and I always believe that Scotland has the best tap water in the world anyway. Never pour it straight from the tap, always settle it into a water jug, let it aerate itself. But the Macar water certainly does complement it. It's Colin, I would recommend you guys and Diageo give that consideration as well. It was Mike and his wife was explaining, Sarah I think it is, was explaining about the pH levels of the water. And I knew nothing about that, but certainly we use it all the time now. And I do notice a difference. I do notice not a massive difference, but you can notice the subtleness of the water actually bringing the flavours out because it's a nice dry and obviously the set pH level of it. So yeah, Macar Water is a good partner of ours, great guys, and I'm sure when we go up to Aberdeen, Mike promised if I said that to you, Colin, he'll take GB and I out on the town in Aberdeen, so that's another night out.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he's going to treat Neil to a Tatty Peel to a haircut as well. But anyway, right, let's get on to the third one. No, we're going to
Clyneleash.
Clyneleash.
Right up north, away up to Brora, north end of Inverness. Lovely wee town with a fantastic golf course, Brora.
And we're hopefully back. Oh my goodness!
Coming in with that water, it brings the fruit out in it. I think more than the bitterness of the nut and the spices. Really, really tasty.
Do you get dry oak?
Yeah, you get the woodiness coming through, the oak coming through. But
I think the best thing about Clyneleash is in years to come, or in the next year, there'll be more releases from this distillery. At the moment, we're just stuck with the distiller's edition and with this 14-year-old. But I know that the independents, there's actually more independent bottlings of Clyneleash than you could shake a stick at. So I'm looking forward. I know there's going to be a distillery-only bottle, which you can get online apparently. But great things are going to come from this distillery, as well as its sister distillery across the road, which we won't talk about now, but for anybody listening, Brora, Brora.
Yep.
It's opening soon. The original Clyneleash.
Very good.
That's right. Is that reopening, is it?
I think they do a special
in a few months.
Okay.
A few months.
Yeah. That mean I would like to try the distiller's edition because I do like the balance in this one. As I say, my closest comparison to that tonight, and I've never really noticed it before, is Oban, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm
It's
allowed to
coastal.
mention that, Colin, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay with that one. Tick. You get a tick. Right, it's a coastal.
It's very similar, but it just gets you the coastal. You get that salty sea air coming through it, just a hint of smoke.
Yeah, I think. Am I right in saying you tasted Oban Little Bay a while back?
Yeah, just last Friday we did. That was
You
fantastic.
did, didn't you? Yeah.
That was really, really good. I was really impressed with that one. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed with Klein Leash, absolutely. We're not doing the seal approval on GB because we're trying to be sensible.
I think we've got too much stuff going through the internet here because we're totally dropping everybody out. I think maybe after this show, once we finish, we could maybe do a recap, try and get back a bit stronger Wi-Fi again, because folk are totally missing everything here, which is a blooming shame because there's a lot of effort going into this. So anyway, what about? Is there anything we can do to help boost the internet? Nothing. Right. Okay. Right. No problem. That's it's a shame, but we'll come back once we've done this, folks. If you bear with us, once we're finished and we drop Colin off, we say cheerio. We can try and do another wee reboost and recap for you. How's that? If you can bear with us, okay. Right. Okay. Where are we going next one?
Oh, we're heading southwest, way down from Brora, over to the island of Isla.
Oh, do you need your passport?
No. Luckily, not
vaccine
at the moment.
Passport.
You need a vaccine, yeah, for foot and mouth disease. Maybe that's about it. But, yep. We're back. Hope everyone can hear us. Isla is your B, Kalila, which is on the island of Isla. Lovely, light, delicate one here, but obviously Isla predominantly is quite smoky. And the Kalila, Graham, it's a Gaelic word for...
Oh, Inchmurrin Bay Lake. You know what? I'm too busy watching Tony feeling bad that everybody's not getting the show.
It's the sound of Isla. The sound of Isla. So, the distillery actually sits right on the seafront, overlooking Island of Jura. So it's just right across the water there.
I've been there. Have you been there?
Just once, yeah. We're going back shortly though.
That's it.
We'll be going back very shortly. So, yep. Is Colin about? Are we going to get you, Colin, to do a very brief introduction? Oh, it's timed perfectly. Over to you, Colin.
No. Right, Tatty Peel, over to you. Go for it, Tatty Peel. Maybe there's that.
Okay, Kalila, as I say, it's Isle of Whisky. It's about 1845, 1846. It's quite an old distillery in Diageo's hands now. I quite like it. One of my favourite Isla malts is actually the Cowlila Moch.
That was lovely, yeah. Done that a few weeks ago.
Moch is
months ago.
early, dawn, so it's a nice yellow one. It's unaged, but it's younger than the standard 12-year-old. The 12-year-old is a lovely, lovely expression of single malt whisky. So we've poured you a wee drop there, Graham.
Yep.
As I say, it's the biggest of the four. I think it does about 6.5 million litres. But I think Colin would reaffirm what I'm saying. Is a lot of it is independent bottlers because our what was it?
That was Master of Malts. Master of Malts. Yeah.
Specifically, bottling information has it. It's Kalila. It is that. Just I don't know if you heard us there, Colin. I'm just saying it's the biggest production of the four that we're tasting tonight. Kalila, I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Lagavulin is really the flagship in Isla for yourselves as a company.
It is,
which is lovely. And when I talk about the drink whisky any way you want, my favourite way I tell people to drink a Lagavulin is in a Gaelic coffee. I think the smoky richness coming through the cream in the coffee and the sweetness is just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Kalila is really good. Do you want to just give us a wee brief introduction?
I mean, I think, there are people out there, and it's growing, people who like smoky whiskies, big phenolic whiskies. And for those of you who are familiar with the big names down on the Kildalton shoreline on Isla,
Right, Typio, you go for it.
We've lost Colin again.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not quite sure if it
let's
was going
keep
with that.
it going over the line then.
As I say, you know, it's the sound of Islay overlooks the Jura, so it's on the east-northeast of the island.
Correct. When you get to Kalila, it's minerally peat. It's much more fresh. That's the major difference. And distilleries there been there for over 200 years, but it's only in the last 20 odd years that it's been released as a single malt, and it's been really well received. I always get on the nose, and you're going to take us through the tasting in a second. I always get unbelievable smoky bacon. It's so weird. Do you remember smoky bacon crisps?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But this is the beauty of nosing, right? Once you get your nose working, particularly around the world, everybody's getting something that's relevant to them in their own particular country. You know, for me, that I haven't had smoky bacon crisps for 20 years, but that's what it reminds me of.
You never forget the flavour.
I wasn't even born then.
It's interesting we see that about around the world, yeah, because one of the Glenkinchie we go back to is the cut grass. There's only certain parts of the world that actually get that cut grass. And another one is quite I like a lot, but excuse me, is a sherry matured, a bit of double maturation. You get the sherry sweetness of the sherry coming through. But people in America and different parts of the world have never had a sherry in their life, so they don't know what you're talking about. So yeah,
exactly.
You're absolutely spot on. But if we look at the colour of it, right away, this is American oak, very, very clear, very nice and light colours, you know, on the legs as well. Extremely quick, extremely thin legs. So you're looking at the flavour map. Have we got it there, GB?
No. Of course we have it here.
We know it's smoky because you smell it whenever it comes out the glass. So Kalila is coming well up. Not quite as high as I think your Ardbegs and that of this world up here. Probably there's a bit more subtlety, I think. So we're in the light smoky region for me. Vanilla, really the vanilla coming straight through there. Citrus, lemon. Again, I'm getting lemon zest, lemon rind skin. Ooh.
Oh man,
You
I've just rubbed a little bit in the palms of my hands.
Yeah, from the Klein Leash, it was a Castella Classic. I'm getting a nice Cuban cigar, that nice bit coming through there.
Oh, we like a Cuban cigar.
You know, grassy.
Oh man,
I'm getting a hint. I get your smoky bacon there, Colin. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm getting there. I'm thinking it's a bit minty, a wee bit peppermint
leaves.
Yeah. Mint leaves coming through.
yeah.
It's a lovely nose. It's a lovely light, and I always think the bourbon, the vanilla American cask really are quite phenolic, as you're saying. You get that sort of antiseptic, but I think Kalila is a bit more subtle, softer than a lot of the ones that really hit you with that. What's the ppms of it, Colin? Can you tell us? I would say about 70 or
18 ppm.
80. I was the millimiles about 70. There you go.
And you know what? You know what's weird? I think it's quite good to mention, particularly as you've got viewers all around the world. Before 1955, there were no bourbon casks in Scotland.
Oh.
They were all European, from France, from Spain. And in 1955, in America, in Kentucky, they said you can only use the barrels once to mature bourbon. After that, you can't use them again. So all of a sudden, America, particularly Kentucky, had all these barrels that they had to sell. And guess what? They were at half of the price of the European barrels. So Scotland took advantage of that fact. And that's why today there's round about 85, 90% bourbon casks in Scotland, because not only are they good value for money, they work really well interacting with the spirit.
Yeah, it's quite interesting now, because the figure I always worked on was 95% of single malt whisky matures at some time in its maturation period in a ex-bourbon or American oak now, because understanding the maturation process are toasted heavier, that they're completely different, and in so many different places using virgin oak now, which is getting fantastic results, but they reckon before you needed that flavours come out.
Something already through there. Yeah.
But on the nose, as I say, it's quite soft in the phenol there, peppermint, quite a lot going on for it. We've got to have a wee taste now on the palate.
I'm liking that.
The smoke hits you, but it's pleasant. I think it's a cigar smoke rather than sort of really earthy, peaty, hard hitting like the one we had the other night.
We had the Octomore.
I never mentioned that, Colin, honestly.
It was an octopus.
You had Octomore.
I had an octopus.
It was 107 ppms, but it was actually quite. But I'm getting the sweetness here. I'm getting the vanilla, the sweetness of the vanilla. I'm getting really minty notes coming through, soft, salt, pepper. As I'm swallowing, as I'm talking here, the smoke, the peat, it's nice, sort of medium long finish sitting a bit here. But the longer it sits at the back of my palate, I think the sweeter it's getting.
It's
Graham.
very,
the
definitely sweetening up.
And that's what I like about the Kalila Mock. I think that's even sweeter. It's lighter, more delicate, and I think the citrus comes through lemon, a bit pineapple, if I remember correctly, on the Mock. But
Mock is
lovely whiskey.
Yeah, can I just say also, if anybody interested in food pairings, Kalila with blue cheese works. In fact, any smoky whiskey. I mean, if somebody says to me, "Does it only work with Kalila?" Of course, I go, "Yes." It definitely doesn't work with Balvenie Doublewood. It doesn't come close.
You mentioned it.
You were the one that said it now. Right, going on here.
And it's funny, I think it would work well with a Cullen's Kink as well, but because the Cullen's Kink being a starter, if you were just doing that one, a Kalila would be really good for that as well, because it's light, it's slightly delicate with the fruitiness and the freshness of it, with the smoke, so it would actually complement it. It was actually, I had a discussion with Ramsey Borthwick, who's the senior site manager at Glenkinchie, and I was telling him I was doing this tour coming down here, and he said, well, why not using Glenkinchie? Because he agreed with me. Because my clients go to Glenkinchie first, and we decide to use Dalwhinnie because I think that's really, really close to the Glenkinchie.
Yes.
But if it was a finishing course, I would certainly recommend this with a good Cullen's Kink as well. The blue cheese I love. I think it's real sort of smelly blue cheese. The smellier, the heavier it is, more intense the flavour. I think the smokier the whiskey works with that. So back to the
and also oysters. You know, I know oysters is kind of like love or hate, but I have in the past got a little spray.
Right, come on, Tatty Peel.
It's quite interesting. I bumped into people on Saturday selling like honeycomb, crunchy sort of stuff, and they were doing a whiskey one. I told you about that, Graham. I was speaking to them this morning with Kalila and that, and it was really the whiskey, the smoke comes through that as well. So back to the nose, lovely and soft with a couple of drops of water. The cigar smoke's the first thing that hits you, but you're getting the fruit, the vanilla, the sweetness of the citrus, lemon, lime. It really is a very, very pleasant for a smoky whiskey. And on the palate, again, that wee drop water takes the intense smokiness off. It sits there in the back. It's a medium to long finish. You'll get the smoke. Just talk. Just swallow a couple of times.
I think you've actually put too much water in it for me. It's obviously because the water's free, that's why he's putting it in. Put too much. Just whilst we're here, folks, if you can, give us the order that you preferred your whiskies in. I know internet's a bit but let us know what you are. And once we wrap up the show, we'll do a wee rebrief on some of the whiskies once we let the boys go away.
We'll be able to record something.
Just put a wee bit out for them. So,
that really is. It's lovely. It's still on the back of the tongue, sitting there, and the longer it sits, the sweeter it becomes. The citrus, more into the lime, away from the lemon zest. The sweet citrus is there. The lime peel, lime zest.
Tatty Peel.
It's really is a nice whiskey. It's I say Kalila is probably one of my favourite Islay whiskies, and the standard 12-year-old. Doesn't do any disservice.
Oh, absolutely not. Very good.
Excellent. So, for me...
what would you go?
My choice, it's actually quite a tough choice. I would have to say Glenkinchie is number one. I do like Glenkinchie. I can't be that controversial. Ramsey Borthwick hears that I went against him and Mike Casey. one of the producers here. I would go Glenkinchie,
Mm-hmm.
Kalila,
Yeah.
Clyneleash,
Yeah.
and Cardew. And that's no different.
What about Doublewood?
No, that's way down the right.
Gordon Smith saying 1, 2, 4, and 3. Menno the Mano, BADC. Brian Gordon, BCAD. And Mark Henderson, BDAC. So we've got a few bits and bobs out there. Let's see what else.
I think that always shows Graham and Colin as well.
Yeah.
We do this every Friday when we do. I give my opinion. Graham does his opinion. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2. Yeah. And we get every combination, I think, which is fantastic. And it just shows the quality and the diversity of single malt whisky.
Yeah, I agree.
Colin, I'm going to ask you.
What's
your order of these
What's
four?
your order?
This could be controversial.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you know, you're absolutely right, though, because every time you do a tasting, it's how you feel at that moment, right? Tomorrow it could be different. For me, I would go CADB, CADB tonight.
Because
that C's Cardew then first.
C Clyneleash first.
Oh, you do
yeah.
Clyneleash.
Right. Clyneleash first, Glenkinchie second, Kalila third, and Cardew fourth.
Oh, there you go, folks. You heard
Cardew, and it's no disrespect to Cardew, but
no,
not at all.
There's more happening in the other ones. They just get more sort of more bite to them, sort of thing, you know.
No comment about giving it back.
I mean,
to the
I was going to
Europeans.
say they all tied for first place.
Yeah, they're very good. Well, Kenny Shearer in the West Coast, he's there, BCDA. And Gordon Brown's on ZZZ because he's on them all on them. He's probably drank them all. That's it.
No, that's interesting. As I say, we always have not disagreements, but different views, opinions, and you're spot on.
Absolutely.
It depends. From a good winter's night in front of a coal fire, a log fire, you would probably go Kalila number one without a shadow of a doubt. And a nice summer's night or on your cornflakes, you're obviously going to go Glenkinchie. But that's just A, the mood, and B, your surroundings. And one of the things you touched on,
and the bad company.
The bad company, I do food pairings as well, and I like you touching on that as well, because I think single malt whisky is so underestimated. We all go and have a glass of wine, and I keep saying to people, have a nice sherry matured whisky with a steak or any red.
You're right.
And it's fantastic.
In fact,
it's a substitute for wine.
You're right. I had some steak the other day, and I had Cragganmore Portwood finish.
Oh, nice. I like Cragganmore.
Man, 100%.
We're tasting Cragganmore next Friday.
Yeah, we're having a wee taste. And I've been up to the distillery. I've got a couple of bottles. Lovely. Nice wee spot there.
Colin, thank you very much for your input.
That's it.
It's been, it's good. It pleases me. You're the Diageo expert. I'm the independent person who likes to view obviously different whiskies and different companies. But our opinions concurred quite there, and it pleases me that somebody's in the industry and concurs and agrees with a lot of the things I'm saying there. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Can I just say to you guys, thanks for having us on. You're absolutely right. Although I spend my time with Diageo whiskies, I like to taste whiskies from across the category. It's not just us. It's being aware of what's being produced so that I can learn, retaste, and make new opinions. So tonight's been a real pleasure to join you and all your guests from around the world. And hopefully we can do this again one day.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome.
Thank you, Colin.
But Colin, thanks very much for that. Obviously, we've got to thank Big Matthias. He's hiding away in the purple room or the pink room. We've got a few thank yous to put out to everybody. Obviously, we've got T-Bone, T-Rex there, and as good as we want, helping away with the bits and bobs. And, of course, we have Stu Poo, the Ivanhoe Printers, and Ian that's done bits and bobs. We've got the Ben, Chris, and Warner, and of course Claire, the PR lass that put the bit out on the media for me, and of course the Diageo, and all of you for dialing in. Thanks for being patient. We will record a little bit after this that we can stick back out so you can catch up. And if you're interested in it, you can join us on the 7th of May.
7th of May, a week Friday.
A week on Friday, the 1775 Whisky Passport. You're more than welcome. We'd love to have yous. And thanks to everybody for dialing in, and everybody from the Scottish Licensed Trade Association, because we've got packs up in Wick. We've got them all over the shop, and it's just been nice to spend the evening with yous. So on that note, I would say thank you very much. And Tatty Peel, what we're going to say?
Slange.
Slange.